Have you ever felt like you're dating the same soul, just wearing a different face? The same energy in a new body, the same story, starting again under different lighting. At first, it feels like magic, a connection so effortless it almost feels fated. You tell yourself, this time it's different. Their voice sounds softer. Their eyes seem kinder. They say the right things. They understand you, or at least it feels that way. But slowly, something familiar creeps in. The same arguments, the same rejection, the same ache in your chest you swore you'd never feel again. You notice the silence, growing between words, the distance disguised as space, the loneliness that finds you even when they're sitting right next to you. You try to convince yourself it's just bad timing, or that love always takes work, but deep down, your body already knows. You've been here before, and somehow, you already know how this story ends. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Most people hear that and nod, but if you've lived it, if you've felt it, it hits differently, because that's what these patterns are. They're not bad luck. They're not punishment. They're not your fault. They're the unconscious, replaying something old, hoping this time it will be resolved. We don't fall in love with random people. We fall for the ones who activate something inside us, a wound, a memory, a pattern that hasn't been healed yet. And the tricky part is, it doesn't feel like pain at first. It feels like chemistry. It feels like electricity, like fate, like finally, someone sees you. But if you slow down enough to feel what's underneath that spark, you will often find fear, not safety, anxiety, not peace, longing instead of love. This is where the unconscious begins to show itself, because your body has an emotional memory. It remembers what it was like to feel invisible, to be loved only when you earned it, to walk on eggshells, to become the caretaker. Even if your mind says, "I want something healthy," your nervous system might still be chasing what's familiar. Let that sink in. Your nervous system isn't looking for love. It's looking for what it knows, even if it hurt you, especially if it hurt you. In Jungian psychology, this is the power of the shadow. The shadow isn't just the bad parts of you. It's the parts of you that were unloved, unseen, or unsafe to express. Your sensitivity, your boundaries, your anger, your needs. You buried them to survive. And now you find yourself drawn to people who trigger those very parts, because the unconscious doesn't seek peace. It seeks integration. It wants to finish the story it never got to finish. So you meet someone, and without realizing it, you hand them the pen. You hope they'll write you a new ending, that this time it will be different, that this time they'll stay, see you, love you unconditionally. But most of the time, they don't. They follow the same script, because that's what your body still recognizes as home. Here's something hard, but freeing. You're not broken. You're patterned. But patterns aren't permanent. They're just stories that haven't been updated yet. So take a breath. Think of the last person who hurt you. Not surface level hurt, but the kind that stayed. What did they awaken in you? What did they mirror? Was it rejection? Abandonment? The need to prove your worth? That mirror is the most painful, and also the most revealing, because we don't just fall in love with people, we fall in love with the wound they represent, the resolution we crave, the parent who never gave us what we needed. We're not chasing love, we're chasing redemption. And here's the twist: you're not just drawn to them, you become a version of yourself that matches the old dynamic. You overfunction, you shrink, you perform, you try to earn what should be freely given, all to recreate an ending that never comes. So, how do you stop? Not by blaming yourself, not by memorizing red flags, and definitely not by swearing off love forever. You stop by becoming aware, deeply, consistently. You watch who you're drawn to, you notice what feels magnetic, and then you ask yourself, does it feel safe or does it feel familiar? Because familiar isn't always safe. Sometimes familiar is what once hurt you, but healing begins the moment you pause and choose differently. You start by listening to your body. When it tightens, pay attention. When it softens, that's information too. Your body speaks long before your mind can explain. Then you learn to regulate it, to breathe through the panic instead of chasing it, to pause before reacting, to sit with the discomfort instead of escaping it. Because noticing interrupts the autopilot, and in that small pause, you create space between impulse and choice. You begin reparenting yourself by giving the safety you once sought in others. You hold your own boundaries. You speak your truth softly, without fear of losing love. You give yourself permission to rest, to not earn affection, but receive it. This is the work. Not fixing, not forcing, just noticing with compassion. Because awareness is love in motion, and love heals what awareness finds. You are not unlovable. You are not too much. You are not destined for pain. You just learned love in an unsafe language, and now you're learning a new one. Carl Jung also said, your vision will become clear only when you look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. And maybe that's what this whole journey was about. Not punishment, not failure, but awakening. Awakening to the patterns that once ruled you. Awakening to the child inside who just wanted to feel safe. Awakening to the truth that love doesn't need to be earned. When you start looking within, you stop trying to fix the past through other people. You stop begging for closure from those who never had the tools to give it. You stop performing and start feeling. Healing isn't loud, it's quiet. It's the small choice to stay with yourself when you want to run. It's breathing through what used to break you. It's whispering, I'm here, to the parts of you that were left behind. And one day, you realize you no longer chase the familiar. You no longer confuse anxiety with love. You no longer repeat the same story, hoping for a different ending, because you've become the safe place you were always searching for. If these words reached something in you, if they softened a part of you, then you're not broken. You're awakening, and I hope you never go back to sleep. If these words touch something in you, hold that feeling for a moment, because healing doesn't happen all at once. It happens in quiet realizations, in soft choices, in the courage to keep showing up for yourself. If you know someone who keeps finding themselves in the same story, someone who deserves to feel seen, send this to them. Sometimes the right words at the right time can change the entire direction of a life. Thank you for listening.